really nice Damascus style finish on the blade. In this video I'm going to be talking all about the Damascus Tai Chi Sword we have for sale at Enso Martial Arts. I'm going to be talking about all its features, why you'd want to buy this over other Tai Chi swords out there on the market, and at the end I'm going to put together a short montage of people training with Tai Chi swords. Hi, my name's Doug Swift. I've been doing martial arts for the past 34 years and I've been the owner of Enso Martial Arts for the past 17 years. If you like this video, click the little icon down below, subscribe to this channel and get all the latest videos on all of the products we have here for sale at Enso Martial Arts. So let's get into this video and learn all about the Damascus Tai Chi Sword we have for sale here at Enso. So the Chinese straight sword, double-edged straight sword, whatever you want to call it, has become massively popular with Chinese practitioners. It just seems to be a bit of a magnet for all those Tai Chi practitioners out there, and people really love it. I would argue above all the other weapons that are available to practice within Tai Chi, it definitely seems to be the most popular. And you know, within Tai Chi, most people will eventually get onto it and have a really good go at practicing the forms with it, practicing some drills, and people absolutely love it. Now, there's loads of different swords out there. You know, most people start off with the wooden straight swords and then move on to, say, maybe a metal one. People want the lighter kind of wushu ones, you know, if you don't want so much weight. But over time, if people are practicing a lot, they want to treat themselves to a really nice quality sword. Now, you know, people always have kind of dreams of getting one custom made and going out to China and watching the guy make it, etc, etc. But for most people this just isn't possible. So where's the middle ground? Well, this Damascus Tai Chi Sword is definitely a really good option for people wanting to treat themselves and getting a really nice quality sword. And it's absolutely brilliant because straight swords can be really hard to get actually in the UK. Especially over the last few years, they've been very difficult to get. So we're really happy to finally have the Damascus Tai Chi Sword in stock at Enso. You know, and it's really nice that people who do want to treat themselves to a really nice sword can finally get one, which is absolutely brilliant. So why would people want a better quality sword, as it were, or spend a bit more money on the sword? Well, it all comes down to practice and the feel when you practice, and one of the major things is balance. So people want a really well balanced sword. This means you can move more fluidly, you can have more precise movements, get a much more nicer connection to the sword as you're moving. If the thing's weighted, you know, wrong, it can be a bit of a slog while you're practicing to kind of move the thing around. Really good balanced sword just makes the practice much easier, feels much nicer, and you can concentrate much more on what your body's doing rather than just wielding this thing around. So really well balanced sword is exactly what you want, and you definitely get that with this sword. And obviously all good quality swords, which usually would be the more expensive swords, should all be well balanced. The wooden ones that we get, you know, relatively cheap, they're not so well balanced, you know, you don't get that much feedback from them. A really good quality sword like this one, you definitely get the feedback from it. If you're not moving correctly, it will tell you, because you end up dropping, you know, certain areas the movement will feel heavy or, you know, sluggish, and as you're moving more correctly, it will tell you whether you're doing that movement in the right way or not. So feedback from these swords as well really helps, and that does come down to balance. So it can sort of help teach you while you're training. You feel areas of tension in your body, you know that you're not doing the technique right, and it's not down to the weapon that you're using. The old thing of what's it called? A bad workman blames his tools. You know, if you've got really cheap tools, you know, maybe, you know, you can blame them a little bit. If you know you've spent the money, there's definitely no more excuses, and it's only you that are doing the wrong movement. So spending the extra money definitely helps a little bit, like a teacher. Now, one thing it is worth noting with these, it does carry a little bit of weight. So if you're looking for a really lightweight sword, you know, lightweight metal sword, this probably isn't going to be the one for you. But most people that are going to be spending this kind of money do want a properly made sword. So with that, it does come a little bit of weight. Obviously this helps build strength, which is really good. Like I said before, like with the balance and the feedback you get, you need a bit of weight to kind of fire those muscles in the right or the wrong ways to give you that feedback. So you do want a little bit of weight, but if you are looking for a really lightweight sword, this probably isn't the one for you. But everyone else that's looking for that sort of help build up some strength and get lots of feedback off the sword, this is definitely a really, really good option for you. Now just go through some of the features so you can see the sword nice and close up. So I'll start at one end. Obviously you get this really nice tassel, much better quality, I'd say, even than the tassels that we sell separately here. But most tassels that you get on swords are, you know, relatively cheap, and this is actually a really nice one, really nice knot on it and really good tassels, nice and long as well. Then you get these brass fittings, really nice. I guess that's a griffin or a dragon or something on the end pommel, so really nice and solid. You'll notice if you've been buying a few different Tai Chi swords that all the kind of fittings can be quite tinny, very, very thin metal, and you don't get that with this. You get nice brass solid fittings, which helps add to the weight. Really nice smooth wooden handle made out of what feels like really nice quality wood, could possibly be rosewood, and a really nice pommel with a very happy chap on there. And again, really solid, none of that tinny kind of feel to it, a nice solid guard, which is absolutely great. You got a really nice scabbard with good quality fittings on it and a wood finish all the way down to the end, and it's got a really nice end on it. Having these metal ends is great because, you know, from time to time you might accidentally donk it on the floor. Try not to do that if you can, but it definitely will protect the sword and protect the scabbard as well. You get a nice cord on the scabbard as well. And then looking at the blade, you have this really nice Damascus style finish on the blade all the way down to the end of the sword. Now it's got a really nice length on it, but because, like I said, it's really well balanced, it doesn't feel heavy. It feels like you could work with the thing and train with it for a long time. It doesn't feel just like a lump in your hand, again because of the balance, really nice. And there is a slight bit of flex in the blade down to the end, just a little bit, and that's just because of the thinness of the blade at the end. But it is made out of steel rather than any of the other metals that you tend to get with Tai Chi swords, like aluminium or chromed metal and things like that. Now for the kind of metal boffins out there, this is 420 steel, and that does mean that it's not lacquered, it's not coated in anything, it's not chromed like a lot of the cheaper swords can be. It's not aluminium, so it will rust in the air. So, you know, they do kind of, when we sell them, have a coating of oil on them all the time, and if you leave it unoiled sitting in your house or in a training space or something like that, it will rust in the air. So it's definitely well worth like being aware of that you will need to sort of maintain the sword and keep on top of it. Just like the Japanese samurai swords, you're going to have a little bit of maintenance. And if you are interested in that, we do sell sword oils here. They're pretty cheap, so it's not a big deal getting some. But if you are looking into this, it is also worth thinking about getting some oils to treat it, maybe a cleaning kit as well, just to keep on top of the maintenance. You know, you don't want to be, when you're practicing with it, you don't want sort of oil on the sword, so you want to be able to take that off, and just takes a few seconds just to coat it in oil afterwards, and you'll have a very beautiful sword for a long time, rather than a total rust bucket. Now it is worth noting that I have called this a Tai Chi sword, but the Chinese straight swords, double-edged swords, aren't just for Tai Chi. Lots and lots of styles of Chinese martial arts will use these. Like Kung Fu guys will use them, Bagua guys, Xingyi, I'm sure use them, I think. But mainly it'll be Tai Chi people buying these, but anyone that's doing Chinese martial arts that's moving on to a straight sword that wants to spend a bit of money, this definitely will be a very good option for you. Now also, it is a beautiful sword. It is a really good looking sword, so if you did want something to display on the wall as part of a weapons collection or something like that, we do from time to time get people in that buying swords for collections. This is definitely a good option because it's such a good looking sword. So it's definitely worth knowing the dimensions. Now all the dimensions of this sword are put on the website, so if you want to know absolutely everything about this, go check that out. But just as a general guide, it's worth knowing a few of them. So the full length of the entire sword, including the scabbard, comes in at about 98 centimeters. Now the handle specifically comes in at around 12 centimeters, and probably the most important bit, the entire length of the sword without the scabbard is 95 centimeters total. But like I said, check out the website for all the dimensions of the sword. So at Enso Martial Arts, we do pride ourselves on having a pretty good range of martial arts equipment for all kinds of different styles, including the fighting styles and traditional styles. But we also think we've got a pretty good range for Tai Chi practitioners. So as well as the Damascus Tai Chi Sword, we also have aluminium Tai Chi Sword, and we've named it the metal Tai Chi Sword. Your whole range of Chinese broadswords, including the Black Dragon broadsword, Tai Chi fans, rattan stabs, and just back in stock, the spears. Also really good selection of Tai Chi shoes, including the Tai Chi rubber sole and cotton sole. So as promised at the beginning of the video, here's a short montage of people training with Tai Chi Straight Swords. Thanks very much for watching. I hope it was useful. I hope you learnt loads about the Damascus Tai Chi Sword we have here for sale at Enso Martial Arts. If you like this video, found it useful, click the little icon down below, subscribe to our channel, and you'll get all the latest videos on all of the products we have here for sale at Enso Martial Arts. Thanks very much, and I'll see you soon. Cheers!